Hey guys, so this is a different video than usual. So usually I'm doing stuff about tech and, just giving tidbits here and there and how to do certain things, my reviews on some things, why I do certain things with tech. But this one's different. This one's going to be going all the way back to when I first started YouTube and showing you guys how I've grown and how the difference is now compared to when I started, and amazingly, that was only like 3.5 years ago. How far I've come as a YouTuber, how far I've come in terms of my setup, how far I've come in terms of having a community that actually watches and enjoys my content. So, without further ado, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Starting all the way back at the beginning, my very first webcam I picked up at a store at the mall near me called Josh's Toys and Games. And it was a really cheap, it was $8, I still have it. It was a Kodak S101 webcam, and actually I'm going to switch to it right now so that you can see the quality difference in this camera. This is the camera itself, and the quality isn't that great. It's got a max resolution of 640p, which was not really great, but the videos that I recorded with this camera, we're now looking at all of my videos that I've ever made. This one, first video, a lot of these are unlisted and private because I just take down some of my older videos. Screen recording on an iPhone. This one was another one that I used with it. An iPhone 6S, I don't entirely remember. This one I recorded on my 4S back when I used it. So, it wasn't great. And then, I forget where exactly the switch was. I think I used it for some of these as well. In fact, I can actually go into it and I'll check the quality. And I'll see, because I can't access or because I'm the only one who can see them anymore. I think these are with this same webcam.
Let's open this up.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
I can't entirely tell you which one it is off the top of my head, but I think this couldn't have been the Kodak because of the fact that it's widescreen. Which brings me to the webcam that I use in most of my videos. So the one that I'm using right now to record this, and the one that I use primarily when I'm recording on this machine, is a Logitech C910 webcam. My dad actually brought it home for me from his job. So I've been using this for years, and I've never had an issue with it, and it's been really great. The quality is amazing. I can actually do 1080p recording. Sorry about the cat noise in the background. There's a cat running around over there. But I can actually record 1080p content. High-def content. Yeah, it may only be 30 frames a second, but still really, really nice, and I really like it, and you can clearly see details. And right now, something I'm noticing, looking straight at it, is it's got me in the foreground, but everything else is kind of blurred. Kind of like a portrait mode effect, which I haven't programmed. This is native from the camera. The only thing that I have swapped recently, because a lot of my videos, in fact, most of these videos, when I use this web camera, I had the onboard microphone being used as well. Really good mic. But what I did recently pick up was this. So this is what I picked up about 4 months ago. It's a Samsung Go mic. It's a USB microphone, but it's really, really good quality. And anyone who's been watching my channel for the longest time might have heard a difference in the audio. That's because of this microphone. This here is that C910 webcam. Sorry about my reflection on the screen here. My Logitech C910 webcam, I mislabeled it when I labeled it years ago. And then this is that old Kodak S101 camera I was talking about, which just by looking at all three of these, you can clearly tell this one's a much higher resolution, and this one is so much lower. But of course, these aren't the only cameras I have. I have a smaller Logitech 720p camera. Off the top of my head, I don't entirely remember where I put it. But then upstairs in my room, where I have my TV hooked up with a Thunderbolt dock, I've got another Logitech HD 1080p streaming webcam. So we're upstairs in my room. This is that one I was telling you about. So Logitech, you can see on it says HD 1080p. This is a really good camera. This is what I used when we had virtual classes this year. because I'd just plug my MacBook into my Thunderbolt dock, which is actually just sitting right under here, which that I'm going to be taking to college with me this fall. And I would have the Samsung mic attached right here on this photo frame. And this is my really good setup for virtual classes and stuff. So that's what I have in terms of actual web cameras and microphones and stuff. In terms of headsets, I've had anything from like Five Below headsets to the one that I'll use now if I'm doing something like a voiceover. If I'm not using my Samsung Go mic, which is really, really nice, as I've already said, is this. It's a Logitech G432 gaming headset. I really, really love it. I had the predecessor, I forget what exactly the model number is, but it was the red one, but it had the split plug, so it had a separate mic and headphone plug. But that's what I use for headsets. And so some of the other cameras that I've used, and as many of you may have noticed, yeah, this is my girlfriend's hoodie. I stole it as payback. Some of my videos include clips that weren't shot on webcams. They were shot on phones because of the fact that I don't want to have to deal with cable management having wires everywhere during a clip. So as you saw in this video right here, I was using my old iPhone 4S, and that thing is upstairs. I've actually like kind of destroyed it. And my 6S as cameras as well. And I remember there was a application that I used, Epic Cam, EPOC-CAM. It was free, but the resolution kind of sucked. But it connected your phone to your computer, and you could use it as a streaming device, which I thought at the time was like the coolest thing ever, and they even had it for my old iPod right here. But other than that, that's what I used. These two, and then the Logitech camera that I'm using now, as well as the Kodak camera for some situations. I haven't really used the Kodak camera much since I got it, but it's run its course. The quality is not that great by modern standards. Even when I got it, it wasn't that great. It was only $8. I'm glad I only spent $8 on it, because I wouldn't pay any more. And honestly, if I was to just try and sell it, I'd literally sell it for $1. But back to the point of what I've used for phones. So I've used everything from a 4S to a 6S, or I've used a 4S and a 6S because those are the devices that I had. And then back in December, my 6S, I finally turned it in because the battery was doing stupid things and the thing was bent, and it was just a hot mess. So I got an iPhone 8. And yes, this is my wonderful girlfriend. She's amazing. And it's actually her on the back of the case as well. She ordered these for us for like our 3-month or something. But the point is, I swapped and I started recording with an iPhone 8. And all of a sudden, I had 4K 60. I had much better control over the quality of the videos. I don't use it for everything because I still, in the end, have to transfer the videos off of this. And when I'm primarily using Windows computer to record, that can be a pain in the butt, especially considering I have iOS 14 beta right now, and 3U Tools, which is my Windows iOS tool of choice, doesn't really know how to pull videos off an iOS 14 device yet, which is why I'm glad I use a MacBook. So what I do is I take all the videos from both the Windows computer and my phone, and I will throw the Windows stuff on my external hard drive that I use for everything. Yes, I do most of my storage and most of my everything off a 2TB Seagate external USB Backup Plus. Really, really good device. I'll leave a link in the description for it. This video is not sponsored by them, by the way. I'm just highly, highly, highly recommending Seagate's external drives because I've never had an issue with a single one of them. So I'll throw everything on that drive in a folder, and I'll label it Edit This Video, and then I'll jump to my MacBook and I'll edit it. I used to use Windows Live Movie Maker when everything was on my computer, on my Windows computer, I should say, but I used to like have to backdoor to install it, and it wasn't great because it didn't have a lot of the same tools that iMovie does. And yeah, I know iMovie and Movie Maker are kind of like entry-level stuff, but it does what I need it to do. It doesn't have a bunch of bells and whistles like Final Cut Pro does, but it does what I need it. So that's what I use now, especially considering now that I've swapped my primary device to a MacBook, as I said in a video that I made recently entitled Why I Switched to MacBook. So And most recently, the most recent upgrade I've made is I still have this thing, and it's an amazing device, and I still use it for recording my girlfriend's softball games. But I picked up a pre-owned iPhone X on LetGo for $400 a couple weeks back, and I really like it. And yeah, there's differences between the two, but underneath the same thing. I'm making a separate video on this as to why I bought a 10 instead of buying a brand new SE for the same price. So that video's in the works. Expect that sometime soon. But as you just saw in the clip that I was just showing you about the cameras and stuff, this is what I was recording with, and this is what I use. This is my daily driver now, and honestly, I've never been happier. In terms of computers and stuff, what I've been using. So I initially started off with one of these. This is a Dell Inspiron 660. I still have it. I use it mostly now for like test bench stuff and running Linux and projects and stuff. It's got a dual core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, and the hard drive / SSD kind of depends on what I'm doing with it. But then from here, this was a Windows 7 rig. We moved to one of these. I bought this my freshman year of high school with my dad. This is a Inspiron 3650. As you can tell, I've kind of been a Dell fan for a while. This had 12 gigs of RAM, a quad-core i5, I believe 6th or 7th gen, I forget which, and I upgraded the terabyte hard drive to a terabyte SSD, which honestly works just fine. And I still have this one too, but I'm actually trying to sell it because of the fact that I'm trying to get some money so that I can buy myself a new MacBook for college in the fall. But now the computer I use is an HP Omen. I bought it for $900. Really, really good machine. I believe it's either 6 or an 8 core i7 9700. I threw a spare hard drive in it, so I've got 2 terabytes of mechanical storage in RAID, and I've got 16 gigs of RAM in a single stick, which is freaking crazy. I might put some spare RAM in it now, and it's got a GTX 1660 Ti in it, which is really, really nice. I'd talk about my MacBook, but I already did in my other video. So, yeah, that's basically what I've been through for changes in the last almost 3.5 years, and it's a lot. I mean, from everything, just from a webcam like this, which is not really good resolution. I mean, if I were to shrink the video down into like the corner of the screen, it might look a little bit better, but because, you know, it's blown up, it doesn't look as great. And this is a good starter webcam for anyone who's just learning, or anyone who doesn't have such a great computer to edit on. And then, of course, the tool of choice for everything, OBS, is what I use to record. And learning OBS through the last few years, I've gotten way more familiar with it, and I actually know what I'm doing now, instead of having transitions be choppy and then having weird spots in my video and not knowing how to edit. As I'm sure a lot of you have been able to see in a lot of my videos, that I've actually learned how to edit now. So I cut out a lot of pauses and a lot of breaks and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys actually so much for watching this video, and I'm actually happy because actually I'm going to check the live stat right now from when I'm recording this, because this is being recorded at noon on July 30th. We're currently at 173 subs, so I'm honestly grateful for this. I mean, it's not the same count as my other channel, which has, last I checked, just over 1,800, but it's a start, because tech is something that I'm going to pursue for the rest of my life. And it's what I'm pursuing in college, because I'm going to major in comp sci. So, thank you guys so much for watching. You can click up here to subscribe. Please, let's get a lot more subscribers. I really like making content, and I want it to be seen. And then over here, you can watch my last video. And then down here, I've put my other channel. And then over here is the most recent vlog on the channel that my girlfriend and I just started for vlogs. So until the next time, guys, peace.